all your school rugby, all in one place. This is Next Gen 15.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this latest video from Next Gen 15. Today, just as everyone else dives into Warren Gatland's British and Irish Lions squad, we're going to be doing something a bit different, picking our own very special Lions Cub squad of our own. Before we get stuck into that though, just a quick reminder to subscribe to our channel and to hit that notification bell. That way, every time we release a new video, you'll get notified. Now, as you will have seen over the last week when Tom picked his baby box squad, if you haven't done that, then do check it out and make sure to like, comment and subscribe. We're putting together two hypothetical under-21 squads, Tom's South African baby box squad and my British and Irish Lions Cub squad, as we're calling it. We'll then be picking our starting 15s from those squads in a head-to-head debate across our channels, and from there it'll be down to you to see who would win that series. For my squad, I'm going with 38 players. At the time of recording, signs are that Warren Gatland will pick 36. However, with 38, I feel that gives you the balance of being small enough not to be too bloated, but big enough to kind of deal with the rigors of a tour. Essentially, it covers two starting 15s and a subs bench. And since in this hypothetical scenario we don't have to deal with COVID, we might as well go for that 38. It's a split of 21 forwards and 17 backs, consisting of 6 props, 3 on each side, 3 hookers, 5 locks, 7 back rows, 3 scrum halves, 3 fly halves, 5 centres, and 6 back 3 players. The conditions of the squad were pretty simple. Players had to be born on or after the 1st of January 2000, and therefore under 21s. They had to be eligible for the Lions right now, so obviously no kind of residency qualification there. And we decided against having any current schoolboys in either of the two squads. So with all that being said, we may as well get stuck into the squad, starting with the props. At loose head, I've gone with 3 very different players, I think, but all very, very good ball players. 2 quite inexperienced, and then 1 much more experienced. So my 2 inexperienced players are Phil Brantingham and Theo Bavakwa, who are both still under 20 eligible. Brantingham was captain of RGS Newcastle, took them to the St Joseph's Festival title, captained England under 18 a couple of times as well. He's with the Newcastle Falcons now and probably looking to break into the under 20 side for the forthcoming Six Nations. A real dynamic player in the loose, and one that we're tremendously excited about, having seen a lot of him in action. Theo Bavakwa, similarly a real superstar at school level with Eastbourne College, played Wales under 18 and then Wales under 20 as an under 18, and has been picked up by the Cardiff Blues since. So there's a lot of promise with Bavakwa. But then just to bring a bit more experience and some incredible play around the loose and at the breakdown is Sale Sharks Bevan Rodd, Daily Mail Trophy, Rossum Park Sevens and Sedbergh Tens winner with Sedbergh back in his school days. He's played England under 18, England under 20, and under Alex Sanderson, he's started to become a real regular in that Sale Sharks team. So we really take it to those baby Boks. I mean, so promising has he been that Scotland have shown an interest in him as well, despite him playing for England through all the age groups. Over on the tight head side, we've got some really cracking players. Thomas Clarkson from Leinster is one that we're really excited about and would be the cornerstone of this pack, I think. Leinster School Senior Cup winner with Blackrock College, 13 appearances for Ireland under 20, getting some real regular experience with Leinster, despite being behind both Ty Furlong and Andrew Porter, who were both in consideration for Warren Gatland's squad. We're obviously recording this in advance of that coming out. So we feel is just going to be an absolute cornerstone of this pack. Alongside him, Ben Warren, Rhondda School's product, Wales under 20 star as well, who was picked up from the Ospreys actually recently, signed from the Cardiff Blues. Player of real power and potential. And then as our third tight head, we have Finn Baxter, the former Wellington College and England under 18 skipper, who's already straight out of school been making big strides at Harlequins. He's made his debut there, looks certain to be a real feature of the England under 20 side. And one of the things that really excites us with Finn, obviously there's a huge amount of leadership potential there, but also his partnership with Phil Brantingham at England under 18 was just outstanding. And the two of them working in tandem against a Springbok pack could be really exciting and dynamic. So Finn Baxter, Thomas Clarkson, and Ben Warren are our three tight heads. Moving over to hooker and three great players, one of whom will take no introduction. It's Wasps' Alfie Barbary, potential main squad bolter, to be honest. He's that good. Blocks and school product. He's an absolute cannon in the loose, and his set piece work is really building as well. Unbelievably destructive in defence and attack, but also with a great eye for space. He's played through the ranks, England under 18, under 20, went on the World Rugby Under 20 Championships as a schoolboy in 2019. Sadly, a red card ended that early, and the next two have been cancelled. But he's a promising player, of course, and to be honest, as good as just about anyone in any nation of his age, and probably well beyond that as well. Certainly a captaincy contender for this squad, and a fantastic player. Behind him, we've got Ewan Ashman, Sale Sharks hooker, who was in the Scotland squad for the Six Nations, didn't get capped, which is why you'll have heard that Eddie Jones has been sniffing around, looking at the possibility of calling him up. Likelihood is, though, that Ashman could well get some game time for Scotland this summer. Sandbach school product, he's played Scotland 16, 17, 18, 20s. He was a real star performer for Scotland when they got relegated, actually, in the 2019 World Rugby Under 20 Championships, but he still managed to really stand out there. A serious player in the loose, common theme across everyone in our pack, to be honest. I've been going for a very exciting and expansive game plan. And then our third hooker is John McKee, the Leinster hooker who signed from Ulster last summer. Captained Ulster at under 18 level. He's played Ireland under 20, won the Ulster School Senior Cup with Campbell College. Really dogged player, and certainly going to add something to our hooking berth. So three really, really top-notch players there, ones to look out for the future. To the second rows, and some absolutely fantastic players here, real depth in the second row. Our first pick is George Martin, who of course won his England cap in the Six Nations, coming off the bench against Ireland after a kind of spate of injuries allowed him in. He's been a fantastic player from as young an age as you want to go, really. He's captained his school, Brooksby Melton College, captained England under 18, he captained Leicester Tigers under 18 to the under 18 Academy League. He's now become a regular starter for Leicester Tigers, both in the second row and the back row. He's just a superb prospect, and certainly a captaincy candidate in this squad. He's absolutely superb. Alongside him, we have Thomas Ahern, the Munster star, who's starting to become a bit of a regular there. Ireland under 20 caps, and went to St Augustine's College. He's a really, really top prospect. A lot of people will have heard of Ryan Baird, who actually only just missed out on the squad by a matter of weeks age-wise. But Thomas Ahern has been spoken of in those terms. He's a fantastic player. Third in our second row, we have Chris Schiunzer, an absolute beast of a player. I remember watching him play for Whitchurch High School, same place as Sam Warburton went to school, at St Joseph's Festival a few years back, and he just blew my mind. He's played Wales under 18. He's part of the Exeter Chiefs setup, and he's actually played in a couple of warm-up fixtures for England under 20. So there's potentially a bit of a battle for his services going on. We have him in the squad as a Welshman, but we'll find out very shortly which nation he ends up choosing. Our other two second rows are Ben Donnell and Ewan Richards. Ben Donnell, who's become a serious regular at London Irish in pretty much every matchday squad now, made his debut at the age of just 18. Went to Peter Symonds College and has been featuring for England under 18 and then England under 20. He can add a massive amount to this pack and can also play at 6, which gives us a bit of versatility. And Ewan Richards, who made his Bath debut earlier this year, straight out of school, went to Millfield, that sort of production line of real talent. Played England under 18 and should probably play England under 20s at some point in the Six Nations this year. So really balancing out our second row options with 5 fantastic players there. Onto the back row, where the options are just off the scale. There are so many players to choose from here. We kick off with Jack Clement, who of course was called into England senior squad actually by Eddie Jones back in the autumn. Which really shows the potential of the former Charlton College player. He's become a real regular down at Gloucester, got England under 18 and under 20 experience, can kind of play across the back row. We've probably got him here as an 8 or 6, I think, but will be pretty adaptable. But a fantastic talent and another guy that's probably a leadership contender within this squad. Alongside him, we've got David McCann, made his Ulster debut back in October, captained Ireland under 20 last year before things all got cut short. Product of the Royal Belfast Academical Institution and a real prospect, part of that sort of Irish back row production line that's been so fruitful in recent years and almost certainly a line of the future. And then Carwyn Tuapolotu, the former Sedbergh School star, plenty of famous relatives. His father played for Tonga. He's a cousin of Toby Faletau, Billy Vunipola, and Mako Vunipola, all of whom could well be on the plane to South Africa for real this year. He's part of the Scarlet setup, confirmed quite early on, played a fair few games for them already, having shown such form for Sedbergh as a youngster, part of those Daily Mail Trophy, Rosslyn Park 7s and Sedbergh 10s winning sides. Played Wales under 18. He's not played under 20s yet, just due to his age. But hopefully, this Six Nations, he'll get his chance there, and really he really balances up our back row. He's a massive man for someone so young, and will cause plenty of destruction, as well as some subtle handling. He's excellent offloader as well. So it would be very exciting to have him involved in this. Next up, Emeka Leone, a real favourite of ours, actually. Really enjoyed watching him as a schoolboy player when he was at rugby school, helped take them to the Champions Trophy final. He's at Leicester Tigers nowadays. He's helped captain England under 18 in the past and should probably make his England under 20 debut this summer in the Six Nations. A really good, technically sound player, but also a massive ball carrier as well. Really exciting prospect. Can play either side of the scrum. I think has dipped into the second row on occasion as well, but much happier on the flanks, I think. And alongside him, we've got Rory Darge there, who's actually just moved from Edinburgh to Glasgow ahead of the Rainbow Cup. He captained Scotland under 20, who he's been playing for since he was just 17 years old. Started his rugby at school with Borders College and played Scotland under 18 as well, but was fast tracked into that under 20 setup. Didn't quite get the opportunities you might have wanted at Edinburgh just because of the sheer quality of back rowers. I mean, when you got Jamie Ritchie and Hamish Watson and Bill Matter to get past, it's not easy. Not to mention the likes of Magnus Bradbury, but he's a real talent and one to watch out for. Also in the back row, we have Jack Morgan. Ospreys have just signed him from the Scarlets, actually, where he's become an absolute regular player of the month not too long ago. He's an absolute superstar. Colleague Sergar for sixth form and a different man product earlier on. Captained Wales under 20, played Wales under 18 as well. He's an absolute beast. He can play across the back row. He is a menace on the deck, absolute menace on the deck. Really top player. And next to him, we've got Richard Capstick, the Exeter chief, he's become a bit of a regular, actually. He's had a decent amount of game time this year. Real superstar for Exeter College and has played through England under 18s and under 20s. Proper open side, likes to get himself stuck in, and one we're really looking forward to seeing in action. Into the back line, and we start off with scrum half, and this was ludicrously difficult. I've tried to avoid going too much into players that I've not picked because there are so many players we could have picked, but I did want to shout out Harry Morgan here, the Wales under 20 scrum half, who I had in this team for a while and then left out at the last minute. Three we have picked, though, are Jamie Dobie, Rafi Quirk, and Jack Van Poortvliet. Jamie Dobie has been earmarked as a superstar for years. When he was at Merchiston Castle, he was an absolute standout, playing for Scotland under 18 as well. And straight from school, he was put straight into the Glasgow first team, the first player they've ever signed direct to a first 15 contract. He's since absolutely come on leaps and bounds as well. He was in the Scotland squad for the Six Nations, as 24th man for a lot of games, and was by all accounts very close to getting a debut as well. Rafi Quirk, I'm sure lots of people have heard loads of great things about him this year, playing behind Faf de Klerk at Sale. Had a huge number of starts as well. Former St Ambrose man is lightning quick, sorry, around the fringes. I'm sure many of you will have seen an absolute scorching try he scored. Played England under 18 and almost certainly will play for the under 20s this year. He's been involved in a lot of the warm ups. His competition there and in this team is going to be Jack Van Poortvliet, the former Oakham star, who's been an absolute regular for Leicester Tigers this year. Similarly, speedy around the fringes, excellent delivery of the ball. A champion with Leicester Tigers under 18, of course, played England under 18, and he's going to be competing with Quirk for that England under 20 shirt. And England got a couple of crackers on their hands, but as of Scotland, Jamie Dobie. Into fly half, and things just get ludicrously hard here. I actually want to shout out some players we left out. Wales' Sam Costello and England's Finn Smith and Tom Curtis, among the many, but those three in particular, I mean, they're fantastic players. But we've opted for Ioan Lloyd, Charlie Atkinson, and Manu Vunipola. Ioan Lloyd, of course, made his Wales debut in the autumn. The Clifton College product, he's been an absolute superstar for Bristol Bears. I mean, when we talk about regulars in the first team in this squad, he's a proper regular. Played Wales under 18, under 20, of course, but he looks set to be a Wales international for years and years to come. An absolutely delightful talent, and of course can play pretty much across the back line, which makes him an incredibly useful player in a Lions squad like this. Alongside him, we've got Charlie Atkinson, the former Abingdon School star. Part of the England shadow squad for the Six Nations, of course. Became a WASP regular within literally about 6 weeks of leaving school. Just astonishing stuff. England under 18 star, of course, and likely to feature for the under 20s. But we've seen what he's been doing for WASP this year, and it's been so impressive just to see a young guy like that controlling a Premiership team. It's just absolutely fantastic, and there's going to be years and years of enjoying his play to come. Then our third fly half, probably a lot of people have forgotten how young this guy is, Manu Vunipola, mainly because he's been a regular for Saracens for so long. He started regularly at the age of 18. He's 20 now, and number two to Owen Farrell there, but a firm regular, and an England under 18 and under 20 star. Was awesome back in his Harrow days, and brings a level of experience that probably few would remember, but an absolutely stunning player. Makes our three. To the centres, and again, I chopped and changed this for weeks and weeks, but we've gone with Hayden Hyde, the Harlequins player actually as of 2021, but still currently with Ulster, former Cranley star. He's played Quins under 18, England under 18, Ireland under 18, Ireland under 20. He's a player who can play 12 or 13, proper ball carrier, but a really skillful guy as well. And adds a lot to this team. Alongside him, Max Ajomo, of course, son of Steve, Bath player, played a handful of games for Bath now, former King Edward's Bath player, really powerful ball carrier. But again, I mean, in common with a lot of youngsters now, he's got the full round skill package. Played England under 18, under 20, of course, and probably a 12 in this lineup, I think. Alongside them, Dan Kelly, who was a sort of a late addition to this squad. If I tell you that I started picking this squad back in about November, and Dan Kelly wasn't in it then and is now, it shows you his rise at Leicester Tigers over the last few months. He wasn't offered a senior contract. He was part of the Sale Sharks setup as a youngster when he was at Kirkham Grammar School. And Sale didn't offer him a contract, so he joined Loughborough Uni. And then with some great performances for Loughborough Uni and also getting called up to the Ireland under 20 setup, Leicester Tigers took a punt on him, and it's been paid in spades. He's been absolutely fantastic this season, and deservedly gets into our squad. Our other two centres are Nurin Owen and Will Joseph. Owen's become a real regular actually of late with the Dragons. And I'm going to try and pronounce his school that he was a product of, which is Giffen Gwinilu. I've almost certainly got that wrong, but wanted to give them a shout out. Played Wales under 18 and under 20, played 12 or 13, and has cited Owen Farrell as his kind of his 12 that he looks up to, which kind of tells you a lot about him. He's a proper ball player. He wants to be able to be that kind of second 5/8, which actually dovetails quite nicely with the balance of our centres. Outside him is very much an out-and-out 13 in Will Joseph, brother, of course, of Jonathan, who's an absolute England stalwart and toured with the Lions in 2017. Like his brother, he went to Millfield, played for England under 18, and should probably play for the under 20s this summer. But most impressively of all, he's really started to kick on at London Irish. He's only just in his first year out of school, and he's already had a fair few appearances under his belt in what's quite a strong area for them. So a real talent to look out for. Onto the back three, and just a ridiculous amount of talent here. I think players get a bit more exposure early on in the back three just because it's not quite such a physically abrasive position, so you can make your break a little younger. I'm going to start with the absolute obvious, which is Lewis Rees-Zammit. Could well be on the plane for the actual Lions team. You'll know better than I will at this stage, as you will have seen the squad. Starred for Wales in the Six Nations, made his debut back in the autumn. He's been a superstar for Gloucester. He's played for Wales through the age grades. Won an Acer title at Hartpury College after he moved from Cathedral School in Llandaff. He's a superstar, and he's going to be dominating the world stage for the next decade or so. Alongside him, we've got another kid who we think is absolutely fantastic, which is Josh Hodge, former Sedbergh School star who moved last year from Newcastle Falcons to Exeter Chiefs. He spent time in Eddie Jones's squads, and he's been, obviously learning a lot behind Stuart Hogg at Exeter Chiefs, and has excelled in his absence when he's had his chance. He's played England age groups all the way through, and just a superb player. And then we've also got alongside them Harlequins is Lewis Lino, who, obviously famous family, played for Australia. His brother is moving down to Australia to play for Queens and Reds. Lino himself obviously qualifies to play for Australia, also Italy, but he's played for England under 18. He's likely to play for England under 20 at some point, and he's very much part of England's plans. He's become a bit of a regular for Harlequins this season, and was an absolute superstar back in his Hampton School days. He was actually part of their St Joseph's Festival winning side as a 16-year-old or something. Just a fantastic player, and can play across the back three. So our final back three players then, Freddie Stewart, who's just been sensational for Leicester Tigers at fullback this last season. He's basically a complete first choice, playing well above his age, really. An under-18 title double winner with them, played England under-18 while he was at Norwich School, has played England under-20, just a superstar, and it wouldn't be a surprise to see him make the breakthrough to the senior setup with England before too long as well. He's been absolutely sensational, particularly under the high ball. We've also got Ollie Slightholme, who had a bit of a quiet start to this year, having really burst onto the scene just because of injuries and things, but he's been in flying form the last couple of months. Former Northampton School for Boys star, now at Northampton Saints, son, of course, of the former England wing, John Slightholme. He's played England under 18. He's been to a World Championships with England under 20 back in 2019, and an absolute shoo-in for this team for us. And then our final player who made a late charge, he wasn't in our squad originally, but Rufus McLean, the Merchiston Castle former pupil, who's played Scotland under 18, under 20s, now at Glasgow Warriors, and was called into Scotland Six Nations squads after scoring an absolute stunner for Glasgow in the middle of the Six Nations, and by all accounts has been impressing everyone massively in the last sort of 3 or 4 months. He's an absolute superstar talent, and I do urge you to go and check out that try he scored a few weeks back. He's also eligible for the USA, actually, but I suspect Scotland won't be letting him slip anytime soon. So that's my British and Irish Lions Cub squad, under 21 squad. 38 players, 20 Englishmen, 6 Irishmen, 4 Scotsmen, and a Welshman, although one of those Englishmen could turn out to be a Scot if Gregor Townsend has his way. Obviously, there's a heavy leaning towards England there. I think that's really just a product of the fact that their playing pool is so large. When you narrow it down to just kind of one age group, they have a lot of room there. But no doubt some of you will agree, and plenty of you won't. There are loads and loads of fantastic players that have missed out. I mean, I mentioned some of them, but it's ridiculous how many good players aren't here. So please get in touch. Let me know what you think on our social media channels at NextGenXV, at NextGen15. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on here to be part of the conversation. We'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is something that could work in the future? I suspect we'd be very lucky if it did, but it'd be really cool from my point of view to see these youngsters getting to do something as cool as this. Be sure to tune in next week though, because Tom and I are going to be debating our two squads. I'm going to be telling him how wrong his is. He's going to be telling me how wrong mine is. And then we're going to be deciding our starting 15s, which I tell you, I am looking forward to on one hand and terrified of on the other, because how on earth do I choose between some of these lads? So cheers for watching, guys, and for more content, make sure you head to www.nextgen15.com. That's www.nextgenxv.com. Please do subscribe to the channel. It really does make a massive difference every time you engage with us. And we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.